today I wanted to just show you how versatile, is that the right word, versatile, these trucks are. So I have, this is just the back part of the truck that has the fall stuff, which I cut out of the big template. But what we're gonna do today, I'm making a gift for someone. Good morning, Beth. I'm making a gift for someone, and this is gonna be the first side, which this workshop is live. It's $10 right now. It's gonna go up to $27 in just a couple weeks. So if you wanna get it, go ahead and get it. But it's $10, it's on the website. You just go to kinsleyscreativepalette.com. But I wanted to make this gift. The other side is for a special someone's birthday. But the mom, it's for a little one. The mom likes sunflowers. So I thought what I would do is I would flip the truck over and I would paint the other side with sunflowers. So this is another template that is on the website. I only printed part of the template because I only needed this part. But it comes with the whole thing. It's $5. And what's awesome about these templates is you can flip them over and do something on the other side so that you can have a reversible truck. Good morning, Terry. Thank you so much, Beth. Yes, thank you for reminding me too. So if you sprinkle this video, you will be entered to win a set of my favorite paintbrushes. So make sure you sprinkle the video, and I will get you entered into that drawing. We have a new drawing coming up October 1st, so you can tune back in for that. But every time you sprinkle one of Kinsley's Creative Palette videos, you get entered to win. So you don't even have to think about it. If I forget to tell you, like, everyone that sprinkles gets entered to win. But I wanted to show you something else. So every one of our templates comes with a letter-sized printout. And what some people do with that letter-sized printout is make wreath attachments similar to the Happy Life wreath. But guys, there's something else you can do with it too. You could also use it for inside of your truck backs. So for example, this is the letter size attachment that you get with your template. You could also set it right down on your board, and you could trace it out, use the printout. Let me show you what those printouts look like. I'll show you one that's similar. So this is kind of like a letter size. And so what you would do is you would set this down on your board, you would use your graphite paper underneath, and you could trace it, and you could put that into the back of your truck. So what would be super cute is putting this little turkey right in the back of your truck, maybe put some pumpkins around him. So you can use all of the parts of the templates. They come with cut files and everything else. You can do so much fun stuff with them. All right, so I'm gonna set that to the side, and I'm gonna move this, and we are gonna get started today. Yes, that's so smart. So Amy Lynn says she cut a truck and she uses them as attachments. I would love to see that. Love, love, love to see it. Okay, so I've got my carbon paper. I'm gonna rough cut around here because I don't need all this excess. So I'm just gonna keep the part that I need. And that way I don't have so much on my board. So I'm gonna throw this part away. Hello, Miss Lisa. And now we're gonna take this, we're gonna stick our tracing paper up here. Actually, let me get this situated first. Where's my line? I think that's gonna be, oh, there it is. Okay, it's a little bit off in size. I think that'll be good. All right, so I'm gonna set this right here. I'm gonna tape it on in a couple spots. Just tape it onto my wood. Hello, Miss Amanda. Okay, good morning, Patricia. All right, friends, make sure y'all sprinkle the video if you wanna be entered to win a set of paintbrushes. Okay, so I've got my template on here. Friends, if you were starting from scratch, you could cut the whole thing out and draw the whole thing on. But I just want the sunflowers and the leaves. So I'm just gonna sit here while I talk to you, friends, and I'm gonna draw these details on. One of the questions that I can see arising is, do I really want black lines if I'm going to be painting yellow? And that's a good question. And if you're new, you may say, well, I don't understand. Well, yellow is a very transparent color. So you see everything through it. So the question would be, how am I going to cover that up? Well, I am actually going to trace all these details back with my Posca pens. So I don't mind the dark because I'm going to end up covering that up. But if you're not going to use Posca pens and cover it up, you're going to want to trace really gently. And it may take you an extra coat of coverage. So I'm just tracing all these on. Too big. Y'all make sure you sprinkle the video if you want to be entered to win a set of paintbrushes. So I am going to paint as much as I can today, and then if I don't get it all done, I will post a picture so y'all can see how it turned out. This template is in the shop, so you can download your own and cut it, or you can buy the blank where it's already etched on there for you so that you can just have the lines and get to painting. It makes it so easy. And the great thing is, if you bought the blank, you could flip it over and you could do the other side differently. So you could maybe, you know, buy one of the templates that is smaller, like the turkey, and stick it in the back. Or you could use it to do the workshop that we're going to do with the fall truck back. And then you'd already have your truck cut. You just have to trace the details onto the other side. So there's so much you can do. All right, I'm going to lift this up just to make sure I'm getting everything traced on. Now it's really important when you do that you keep your hand down on your paper so that it doesn't move. Where these papers come together, there's a little bit of a gap, so sometimes if it's a real detailed drawing, I'll go in and I'll go ahead and fill in those gaps, like right here. But on one like this, it's pretty easy to fill it in as I go, so I didn't do that. And if you're cutting your own wood, you can always trace all this detail on before you cut it out. Yes, Terry, that's how I used to do it before I had carbon paper. Terry says that if you don't have the carbon paper, take a number 2 pencil, lay it sideways and rub it, and then you can use that. Now, caveat to that is every now and then I find a pencil that has too much, I guess it's wax in the lead, and it won't transfer. So just before you do a whole paper like that, I would just highly recommend that you make sure that it'll transfer. So kind of test it out, do like a corner, and then turn it over and test it out, and make sure that it's going to transfer. Uh-oh, went a little bit big. I think my phone just turned off, the other one. There's a lot of detail here. Good news is, since they're all pretty much the same, it should go pretty fast when we paint it. Alright, I'm going to move my carbon paper over. Let's see. Yep, I'm going to move it over just a little bit so I can get the rest of this because it wasn't quite big enough to do the whole thing. After we get this traced on, we'll go ahead and start painting our truck. I'm going to use turquoise paint and do polka dots because I love me some sunflowers with turquoise. But you can use whatever color you want. And this truck would also be cute. You could flip it over and do the same design, but you could do it in spring colors if you wanted to. Okay, let's see. Oh, I didn't do that circle. Okay, I think I've got everything on here. Good morning, Miss Sharon. Okay, so we are painting a truck with sunflowers. So I cut this part out of the full template and I just traced it on. So now we are going to start painting. The first thing I'm going to do, I've got a bunch of fall colors on this plate, so I'm actually going to grab a different, I'm going to get a egg carton. I'm going to get turquoise, if I can find it. Ooh, this one's a pretty one. All right, this is called Aqua, and we're gonna paint pretty much the whole thing aqua. Okay, I'm gonna get my big flat paintbrush. And I'm just gonna start painting. So, do the whole truck in this aqua color. If you're just joining us, make sure that you sprinkle the video so you can be entered to win a set of paintbrushes. I'll draw the winner for those next week. And next week we start a new project, and we'll have a new half-off template. The last day to grab the candy corn for half off is going to be the 30th, I believe. Is that the last day of the month, or is it the 31st? It goes away October 1st, so at midnight the night before will be your last chance to grab it for half off. All right, just laying all this paint on. Isn't it a pretty color, Terry? This, the brand is Doris, which is the Michaels wholesale brand. So it probably would be the same in the Craft Essentials set or paint colors. It is going to require a couple of coats because this is MDF. And normally MDF will take paint. The first layer, it kind of sucks it up. I prefer tri-ply, but I have a bunch of blanks that are pre-cut that are MDF, so that's what I'm using right now. Using what I already had. Now I am turning my brush sideways and kind of brushing in between these petals If that proves too hard for you with this big brush, just size down. Just remember, the smaller the detail, the smaller the brush. But I'm going to do most of it with this bigger brush and just keep kind of turning it. Hello, Miss Susan. Oh gosh, my chair won't move up anymore. I'm stuck. I had my apron on when I was painting earlier, and I went upstairs to change clothes, and I left it sitting next to my makeup table. So I'm gonna try to not get paint on my clothes. What I love about painting this truck, this bright aqua color, is we can use it for fall with the sunflowers, but it'd also be pretty in the spring and summer. So very versatile. Okay. Oh, how's everybody doing today? It's cold outside. Went out, I had to run next door. I had this sign stored over at my studio, and I walked outside in shorts and a t-shirt, and I was like, woo, it's chilly. We're supposed to go to the zoo on Saturday, and I'm thinking we might have to have jackets. I have Lowe's at my house removing. Oh man, yes, if you have to watch the replay, just watch it later. No hurry. So glued down flooring, girl, that does not sound like fun. I see why you would hire that out, because whew, that'd be hard work. Almost got, it's 94 in Florida. Robin, bless you, love. That is insanity. I have no words. None. My husband and I were laughing last night because he always says we can't live in Ohio forever, that we have to move back to the South, and he wants to move to Alabama one day, which that's where he's from. I get it. But it was so funny because I go, I'm not moving anywhere where it's hot. So that's out. And he goes, well, it won't be hot. Thank you, Tina. I appreciate you. He's confused. Terry, that's funny. Amy Lynn says she's working and doing distance learning. Girl, bless you. That is a tough job right there. When my kids had the decision, we had to make the decision if we were doing remote learning or if we were going to do in-person school. My husband, bless him, said, honey, I'm leaving that decision up to you because you're the one that's going to shoulder the biggest part of that burden of their school. And I started doing some research, and I remembered what it was like, at the end of last year, but I knew it was going to be crazy different than what it was at the end. And so started doing some research on like how much hands-on they were going to need from me. And I work full-time from home. And so it was basically sacrifice my business and be a teacher, which that is not my strong suit when it comes to math, English, science, history, all of that. Or let my kids go back to school. And so I got their input. Oh, look, April's from OHIO. So I got their input. They really wanted to go back to school. I didn't want to force them to wear a mask all day if they didn't really want to do it. But once they said that they would prefer to go back to school, I was like, all in. Bye, babies. I love y'all. Have a fabulous day. So, you have a very tough job. Hi, Jenny from Alabama. What part of Alabama are you from? That's where my husband is from. He went to school at Alabama. He is from Vestavia Hills. Still just getting all this teal on, or aqua. Okay, so where I'm at right now, I think I'm gonna take a smaller brush and I'm gonna kind of get in these areas where I can't get with my bigger brush. So I'm just gonna size down brushes. Hello, Miss Laura. I'm gonna size down brushes and I'm just gonna kind of get in here and put in a little bit of this aqua color so that when I put my sunflowers in, there's not gonna be any gaps back there. Now, if I was painting darker colored flowers, there's a good chance that I would not put these colors, or that I would have painted over this whole part and then gone back over with the darker. But because yellow is such a transparent color, I didn't want to do that. Thank you for sprinkling, Laura. Remember, anyone who sprinkles is going to be entered to win a set of my favorite triangular handled paintbrushes. Let's see. I think I might. Oh, I need to go right there. It's kind of hard to tell. Like, you kind of have to visualize the whole thing. I am loving this fall weather too. I am hoping that my allergies are not super terrible this weekend and that I can make it to the zoo with my kiddos. It's the hardest part is my allergies have been really bad this year. I don't know about anybody else, but they've been bad. Let's see. All right, so up here, this will be light blue, so I don't want to paint any of that. But I do have a couple more spots over here. So I'm just getting in all these little places where it needs to see the blue truck behind the sunflowers. Okay, I think that's it. All right, now that this other part's almost dry, girl, I was so close to that too. I knew that like my allergies were getting so bad I was getting ready to have a sinus infection, so I laid heavy on the neti pot and the Mucinex. Because I mean, you get to that point where it's like, okay, this is it. It's gonna go. It's funny, my son, every time he gets a runny nose, he uses the neti pot. He's 10. And I discovered it back when I was pregnant with my daughter because man, my allergies were so bad and you couldn't take anything. And so I got used to it and I love it. So it's funny that Kinsley, my daughter, doesn't really do it, but my son and I do. Sometimes my husband will too. He got that like automatic one. I don't know what it's called, but he said it wasn't all it cracked up to be. He couldn't find the neti pot while I was out of town. So he got sick, and so he went and got that other thing, and I don't think he really liked it. I'm going to move this plate. All right, so I'm just putting this quick second coat of aqua on. I'm going to grab some more. Now sometimes with the MDF, it can even take 3 coats. just because it'll suck up your paint. Just kind of depends on the paint. But I want to get as much as I can on here before I move on to the next color. Okay, let me get a little bit more right here. So it was so funny. Last Thursday, I think it was last Thursday, maybe it was Friday. Anyway, I was live and we were talking about cleaning and the whole like stripping like you can do your clothes and basically getting the buildup out of them. So that afternoon, I went to Walmart knowing that there was something I wanted to buy. Something. Girls, I got there. I could not for the life of me remember what it was. It was the stuff just so I could strip my sheets and my towels. So it's funny, I was talking to my mom this morning and I said, I told her I was going to try to do that. And she's like, what are you talking about? I said, you know, I went to Walmart to get the stuff and I completely forgot what I went for. All right, friends, I took white, just so you know, I took white, put it in a cup, and I took all the blue that was on my brush, and I just mixed it in there. And now that is what I'm using for this kind of sky color that would be behind, like that you would see through the car window. So, it's got a light blue tint to it, not a lot, just a little. But by using the white with the aqua that I already had, I know that the undertones are going to be the same. And so these two colors will not clash. And that's really hard sometimes when you're putting a bunch of colors together to not have the undertones clash. So that's why a lot of times if I can, I will just mix white with whatever it is. I can't cut wood and such because, oh, yes, it's been so bad. I'm sorry. You know, I've got a workshop that I'm working on. It's going to be a multiple part, and it's trucks. And the reason is I know winter's coming up, and I wanted people to be able to cut once and paint a bunch. And so we're going to have a whole, I'm still putting it together, but it's going to be just a whole bunch of truck backs that can be painted. And you can stack your wood and cut 3 or 4 trucks at once, and then you can paint both sides of them. So I know especially in Ohio with winter coming up, our ability to get outside and cut is going to be coming to a close. So I thought that would be a super fun workshop to do, where you could paint 6 or so projects, but with the same one time you cut. All right, so got that. I'm gonna size down a brush size, and I'm gonna go ahead and put the color right here on the mirrors. Okay. Amy Lynn, that cracks me up. The dust goes everywhere for me. I couldn't do it. I've tried doing it in my studio, and I shut the door to one of the back rooms, but it's still, man, it still gets everywhere. All right, I've got just a dab of black. I'm gonna get another cup full of white. I've still got this blue, this light blue in my brush, and that's okay. You can wash it out if you want to. I am not going to. I'm going to get a little bit more of it out of my brush up here. Just to use a little bit more of it. And then, let's see. And then once my brush is just about empty of this color, we are going to go in the black and the white. Thank you so much, Nikki. Yes, y'all don't forget, sprinkle the video if you would like to be entered to win a set of paintbrushes. Okay, so I did one tiny bit of black on here, and then I went into the white and I mixed a gray. So now I'm just going to come down here and I'm going to paint the, what is this called? The bumper. I'm going to paint the bumper gray. Now you could use gray paint. You don't have to mix like I am. To me, I use a lot less paint when I do this. And I can kind of use what I've already got poured out. But if you wanted to use light blue, aqua, gray, all those different paint colors, you are welcome to. The only colors I've used so far is white, black, and aqua. And then I've just kind of mixed from there. Alright, so let me get all the way up to here. This is a really light gray. I might want to bring a little bit more black in there. Do that. So in order to do that, I just put a little bit more black on my brush and I'm just going to work it in. Who is that? Thank you, Beth. I appreciate that. I love this truck too, and it's going to be a gift, which makes it even more fun. Alright, so I've got that. Now I'm going to go into just the black. I'm getting a lot of black on my brush. Still have not washed my brush out, friends. Just going to put the black down here. Still got a little bit of white in it. That's okay. I might need more black. Didn't put a lot of black in my cup. But this is kind of making it a like charcoal-y black, and it looks more like a tire anyway, so I'm gonna roll with it. And then I'm gonna do this one too. Get some more black. Do this side. Okay, how fun is it that we have not washed our brush once? We haven't washed it once since we started painting today. I love that. There's nothing better. My friends, I'm a big fan of making sure my brush strokes are growing the right way if I'm using more than one color in my brush, because that way it will give it kind of a textured look in the right direction. Aw, those sound fun, Beth. Yeah, Tamara's great. She does a good job. Alright, I got a little bit of black up there, so I'm going to grab a little bit more white in my brush and I'm going to smooth this out. Oh, I bet that is cute. An army green Jeep. I had a white Toyota minivan for 11 years, and recently we upgraded to a army green Toyota Sequoia. Yes, Beth, I do sell my templates. The links are up above. But I love, like, army green is one of my all-time favorite colors. But what's funny is as soon as soon as we got my vehicle, and like I said, we kept it for 11 years, so I knew I'd keep this one for a long time. My husband was like, oh, now I want a truck that matches. So funny. Okay, so I did just wash my brush because now I'm going to go back to my aqua. I'm going to get this, get a little bit more in here. I'm going to do another coat of aqua because I can still see through it. So just quick coat. Now I will not be quite as specific about cutting in around the design this time, just because I've already done that twice. And so the main thing is I'm just trying to get good coverage on the majority of my sign. Uh-oh, went a little bit too far. That's right. What brand paints? Beth, I use all different brands. In fact, right now I have Apple Barrel, Deco Art, and Doris, which is the wholesale brand of Michaels, on my paint table. So I use, oh, and I have Anita's. So I have all different brands that I use. It kind of just depends on what colors I need and what's on sale and what store I happen to be shopping at when I need new paint. Now there's certain colors that I am brand loyal to, but I try really hard to tell my customers, use what you have access to. Don't get hung up on brands. Don't think you have to wait until you can go to the store and get the exact color that I have to paint. Just grab your paints and have fun. Because what happens if you wait is chances are you're not going to have time when you do finally get your supplies, or the season's going to pass and you're going to be like, oh, I really wanted to paint that, but I didn't have the right color paint. So I'm not a huge fan of being really specific about the colors. If you have turquoise and not aqua, use turquoise. Okay, so I do want to do another coat up here. So I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to grab some white, and I'm just going to mix, mix, mix with what I already have the aqua in here. I'm just going to do that for this color up here. Get a little bit more aqua in my brush. Mix that. Do you rinse your brushes in water? Yes, I do. I keep a cup of water on my paint table, and I stick my brushes in there when I'm not using them. And that's what I use. Yes, you are right, Laura. That is not one of my favorites. I normally use the Anita's white only because it comes in the 16-ounce bottles that are not the pour kind. And I say pour, P-O-U-R. But that's what I normally use. I keep the black Anita's and the white on my paint table all the time, because I like to tone my colors down, kind of like I'm doing here, where I took my aqua and turned it into this other color for this background. I like to do that. So a lot of times I use the white and the black with just about every project I touch. Yes, see? But that's my philosophy, just because really, like, I have some students that they want to know the exact dimensions of everything I do and the colors, and that's fine. I don't ever mind telling them. But I don't ever want that to be the reason that you don't pick up a paintbrush today. Pick up a paintbrush today. If you have time, or make time, I mean, we make time for what's important to us. Pick up a paintbrush today. If that means you have to use hot pink for the back of your truck, friends, use hot pink. I've never ordered from Deco Art. I've always just purchased it from Hobby Lobby. All right, so friends, let me show you where we're at. I'm going to hold this up. See? All right, so this is where we're at. And then y'all give me just a second. I'm going to see. Oh, I'm still at. I don't know what my phone's doing. Okay. All right, so the next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some gold. I've got some antique gold, and this is a Deco Art color. And then I'm also going to grab yellow. This is apple barrel yellow. Oh, not much in there. I'm going to grab green, but I'm going to grab a couple greens. I'm going to do holiday green, which there's not a lot left in here. I'm going to do some holiday green, and I'm also going to use light avocado. And then what else? I'm going to use orange. Let me get, which orange do I want? I'm going to use regular bright orange. And then I also need brown. I'm going to use burnt umber. So I'm getting all these colors out because I'm just going to kind of play and have fun. I'm going to switch to a small brush. Get some of these brushes out of the water. All right, so I'm going to switch to a small brush and just start laying some color in. I'm going to start with my leaves first because they're going to kind of be in the background. And so I'm just going to color those in. I've got a round tipped brush so I can get these leaf points. This brush is not cooperating very well. Now I am kind of mixing this avocado with this holiday green just because I want it a little bit brighter. Than what that avocado was. Hey friends, don't forget, if you jump on, if you sprinkle the video, you'll be entered to win a set of paintbrushes. We are drawing our winner next week. And the candy corn template is still half off through the end of the month. It goes back to full price on October the 1st. So if you would like the candy corn template, go ahead and grab it. Julie, that's a great question. Yes and no. I have a template that I made it's for sale on the website. And this was the part of the back of the truck that I traced on with my graphite paper. So I did that, the first part of, what's the sprinkle? It's the S-H-A-R-E button, which I can't say that word. I get penalized if I say that word. But at the first part of the video, you can go back and watch. I'll show you how to transfer these flowers onto your board with the carbon paper. Pretty much anything, you're welcome, pretty much anything that you see me paint live is for sale on my website. So you can either buy the blank where it already has the lines etched on it, or you can purchase the template and cut it yourself and then trace all of the details on with carbon paper. So I'm just coloring in all of the leaves for the flower. I think I'll make that. Just putting all this color on. And this color is actually a mixture of light avocado and holiday green, because I didn't have a green that I wanted for these. It's funny because I look, yes, they don't show my video to as many people, so that's why. So Julie says she likes to make cakes. That sounds amazing. Cake is probably my favorite dessert. I could eat it with or without icing. I'm not picky. Hello, Miss Sandy. How are you today? Just over here painting some sunflowers. Now, friends, if y'all wanted to leave your truck aqua, you totally can. But I am going to lay some polka dots in here shortly, as soon as I get all of these leaves. Well, they do want us to use it. They just don't want us to ask you to use it. Oh, that's going to be fun, Sandy. You have to let me know how that goes. Well, hello, Miss Joyce. right, I think I got all the flowers, not the flowers, all the leaves. I'm gonna move these paints. I used to make and decorate cakes. Oh, I'm sorry, babe. Beth, that's awesome. So did you see the other one? This is the workshop that I'm working on recording. This is gonna be a fall truck. So super excited about this one too. But I have a relative that likes sunflowers, and her son likes Halloween, and so I have this truck is double-sided. The other side is Halloween. All right, so I am gonna size down a brush because I'm having trouble getting in these little bitty spaces. So I'm gonna switch to an even smaller brush while I keep going with my leaves. Just want to get a second coat of paint on these. Yeah, my motto right now is paint all the trucks. Paint all the trucks. All right, so once I get the second coat of paint on the leaves, we'll start putting the color on the flowers. This one has just so many. You could do one with less sunflowers and it would go a little bit faster. But I just thought this would be a lot of fun. Yes, Amy Lynn, they're my favorite too. They are my favorite too. Oh, that's really cute, Amy Lynn. Scarecrow and a crow. I'm finishing up the one with the scarecrow and the pumpkins today. All right. I think that's all of that. I'm going to go ahead, use the same flower. So I can't see the whole comment, but I think you're asking me would I use the same flower like design. And yes, I would. I would just paint them like daisies. Maybe white with yellow centers, or I mean, you could even do pink. You could do bright colors, whatever you want to do. What was I about to do? Oh, I'm going to go ahead and start my polka dots before I go any further. I'm going to use white polka dots, and I think I need to get some more white down here. what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my bigger flat brush. It's a 5/8. It is one of my triangular tipped brush or handled brushes. Remember, sprinkle if you want to enter to win a set of your own. And I'm just going to start putting polka dots on here. So, all the way around. Remember, when we do polka dots, we do them in a triangular pattern, meaning any 3 that are closest together would form a triangle. Now I will have to go back and do a little bit of touch up on my leaves, but that's okay. Let's see. So I am just gonna keep adding these polka dots. Let's see, do a partial here. Do partial right here. Let's see. There we go. Let's see, I think I'll go right here. Uh-oh, I'm hitting everything. Alright, so I've got my polka dots on. I'm going to go back and I'm going to kind of touch up, put a second coat of paint on some of these as they start to dry, so they're not quite as transparent. But I need to let most of them dry a little bit more before I do too much. Okay, so I'm going to start working on my yellow now. I'm going to use an angle-tipped brush. Let me see if I can find the size I want. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to use a small angle-tipped brush for the flowers. I'm going to start with the antique gold. And I'm just going to do my flower petals with those. I'm going to go all the way around one flower with antique gold. And that's kind of dark. It's okay. last one. All right, now I'm gonna grab some of this brighter yellow and I'm gonna go right kind of in the center. I'm not gonna get that outer edge, just kind of in the center with this brighter yellow. So it's not all the way dry yet, so that's important. Just because I want the outer edge to still be that antique gold, and I want the center to be a little bit brighter yellow. That's gonna give it kind of a natural shading. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Now I'm gonna grab just a tiny bit of white and mix that in, and I'm gonna do the same thing, just kind of right in the center. Just bring it even a little bit brighter. We're gonna do this for all of our flowers, so you'll get lots and lots of practice. Except I've got paint on my hand. There we go. All right, so I've got the first sunflower petals done, and so I'm gonna go to the next one. So I'm gonna go back into this antique gold, and I'm gonna go all the way around my sunflower. And you can use whatever brush you're most comfortable with. I like this angled brush because I can get that tip and then kind of just drag it down. Now I'm going to go into this yellow, a little bit of the white, and I'm going to do right in the centers. Just a little bit brighter color right there in the centers. This way they'll have, around the outside, there'll be the darker gold, and then in the centers, they'll be a little bit brighter. All right, we'll do the next one too. So I'm just gonna work my way around the board, doing all my petals. I work it one flower at a time though, because I don't want that paint to dry all the way, so that I can go back and put that lighter color in the center and it'll kind of blend. So that's why I'm only doing one flower at a time. Yellow and white. Oh, this is going to be so cute. All right, going back to the gold. Next flower. And friends, you may get to where you're on like third or fourth flower and you've got so many different colors in your brush that either A, you need to wash it out, or B, it naturally is having that effect of having all the different colors show up. So just make sure, the main thing is that you're having fun. So pretty. Next. just a few more flowers to go. Itch. Well, hello, Miss Lisa from Tennessee. Make sure if you just jumped in. Okay, make sure that if you just jumped in, that you sprinkle the video so that you can be entered to win a set of my favorite triangular tip paintbrushes, or triangular handled, sorry. Get a little bit of this. Okay, so I've got all the flowers done. Now I'm going to go into, thank you so much, Beth. I'm going to go into my brown. I'm going to get some brown on my brush. I've still got this yellow. And I am going to just start dabbing the centers of my sunflowers. Now, I don't want them to be, I might want to change brushes. Yeah, I think I'm going to change brushes. You can do just the whole circle if you want, but I really want them to be kind of, oh, what do you call it? Just to have some texture. So that's why I'm gonna just kind of pounce my brush up and down. I'll switch though to a bigger brush. Filbert. Okay, so same thing. I'm going to get my yellow again, a little bit of my brown, more brown. And then I'm just going to kind of go in the middle all the way to the edge or to the base of the sunflower. And I'm going to add a little bit more brown to that. So I'm just going to do this for all of them. Just keep going. You know what the good thing about sunflowers is, if you mess up a little bit, it's okay. Because they're not a real, it's not like when you're painting a rose or something else. They're just kind of fun, messy flowers. This goes so fast. So the petals and the rest of that take a while, and then this part goes really quickly. All right, I'm gonna grab just a tiny, tiny bit of black and come back over here to my brown. And I'm gonna dab just right in the centers, just with this darker. Now it's still wet. My my lighter brown is still wet. And that's what I want. Because I want it to kind of blend. I don't want it to be just like stark brown right in the middle. Just want it to have a darker center. If it gets too dark though, go back, get some of that off of your brush. Thank you, Laura. And then go back into your lighter and blend it. Just go around and blend it. So I'm just kind of pouncing my brush up and down. So fun. These are looking so pretty. Okay, what am I going to do next? I don't know on this side. I think I'm going to clean it up, and I don't think I'm going to do all of the heavy accents like I normally go around and I highlight with a Posca pen the whole thing. I don't think I'm going to do that on this one. I kind of think I like the way it looks like this. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of clean it up a little bit, like down here where the lines come together. So I'm going to come back in. I need some more white. I'm going to get some more white. Thank you, Stephanie Rooney. All right, so I'm going to get some more white. Oh, no. Did I just get that all over my shirt? Dear Kara, that's why you wear an apron when you paint. Okay, so I've got a little bit of black, a lot of white, and I'm making this gray again for this down here. A little bit more. All right, I'm gonna clean this up. So when I say that, I wanna load my brush and go slow to get this good crisp line right where these two colors come together. Now on a lot of my paintings, you don't have to be quite as specific because I go back with my Posca pen and I do lines between where the two colors come together. But because this one, I want it to look a little bit more rustic and vintage and not have those lines, I'm going to clean it up. and not do those heavy accents. Need some more black in there. All right, so cleaned that one up. Now I'm gonna bring these brush strokes all the way across. Oh, friends, I'm loving this. Thank you so much. That's okay. It will be published later, so you can go back and watch. All right, I'm gonna grab this lighter turquoisey aqua color and clean this up. Needs more aqua. Get some more white. I keep going to this white. I don't know why, I just didn't give myself a lot to start off with. Alright, so I'm going back into this aqua. If y'all remember, we took the aqua and the white and we made this lighter blue color. I want to make sure it's not too close to the white though, because I don't want it to look just like the polka dots. So I might need to add a little bit more aqua in there. Get some of that off my brush. Clean that up. Okay, I got a little bit outside of my line, so I'll go back and paint over that in a minute. I'm going to do the same lighter aqua color. Then I'm going to get my polka dot paintbrush. We're going to go over those polka dots again. I'm going to actually get an angled tipped brush this time, because I'm not going to do the whole polka dots again. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of hit the centers and clean them up a little bit. Oh, I did have to do that one. I went too far outside of the lines. There we go. So I just want these to be darker, bolder. That way they don't look like the color of the windshield, or not windshield, sorry, the window. right, that second coat of white brightened up our polka dots a whole lot. So they are looking super fun. So now, I'm trying to see what do I want to do next. I'm going to grab a really fine tip paintbrush. Let's see, where did I put it? This is it, yep. A really fine tip paintbrush, and I'm going to just add some details to my leaves. But first, I need to fix this one because I kind of painted my polka dot over the top of it. So let me come back in here, fix that. All right, so I'm just going to grab a little bit of brown and a little bit, mix it in with that green. And then I'm just going to kind of, right along the edges, just add a little bit of shadow to these leaves. Just kind of, not the whole thing. You're not like outlining the whole thing. You're just kind of adding just a little bit of texture in there. So that has a little bit of dimension to it. Too much brown right there. All right, now I'm going to grab a little bit more green. Well, some of this is still wet. I'm going to tone down a little bit of that in areas where I maybe put a little bit too much. And this just makes it look darker in some spots and lighter in others. Remember, anytime we're adding wet paint on wet, we actually are blending it, which is why I wanted to do this before it dried all the way. Okay, so now my leaves have a little bit more texture. I'm happy with my sunflowers, but what I want to do is I want to grab the dark antique gold. I'm going to add a tiny bit of black to it. I mean, like barely anything. Like I just dip my brush in the black and then I kind of work a little bit of that black in. I'm going to roll my brush to get it back to a point, and then I'm going to kind of just outline very gently some of these petals. Make sure you keep enough paint on your brush and you go back in when you start to run out. And you don't have to do all of them. I just kind of want to make some of them a little bit different than the others, just so that they're not all exactly the same. And you can do some lighter. I just don't want them to all look identical. with white in there. That didn't mean to do that. Alright, so I've got lots of texture on my flowers. I have the truck, looks really cute. I'm going to grab this paintbrush, same thing. I'm going to dip into just the white. And I'm going to add just some lines across here, just barely touch your board. Just to give it a little bit of motion. And then I think I'm going to use my Posca pen. I'm going to use my white Posca pen. And I'm going to do just some little dots in some of these sunflowers. Add a little bit of character to it. And then we're going to do a license plate down here. I'm just going to draw this on with my black Posca. If you've never used a Posca pen before, they're like the Cadillac of paint markers. They're my fave. Draw this on. And then I'll come back in just a minute and write on here. Let me switch back to my white. We're going to draw some lines on here. I'm going to draw some highlights on our truck. Ooh. Hand is a little bit shaky for that one. I'm going to try real quick before that dries. I'm going to try to get that off because I was a little bit shaky. Let me do it over here too. So friends, if you go quick, and this is a damp towel, you can get that back off. So when I get shaky like this, the best way for me to do it is to turn my board instead of moving my hand, because we saw what happens when I turn my hand. In fact, I'm going to wipe that off again. I think I want to do black. Let's do black right here. Put that one up. Let's try black. We're going to do gray. Let's try black. If it gets messed up, then we'll just wipe it off. Oh, I think I like the black. Thank you so much. All right, so all right, I don't think I'm going to do too many more accents. I think we're going to leave that. I wonder if I should do the outside of the window. Let's see, is that dry? We're going to write Happy Fall. No, you know what? I'm going to write Morton across the back because that's who it's going to. All right, so I'll come back and touch that up. Just let it dry. I'm gonna do, I'm gonna thicken my downstrokes. And then I think I'm done, guys. If there's anything else that you want to do to highlight it, accent it, whatever, to make it your own, feel free. You could go back and you could add, ooh, I wonder if I should do that. No, I don't think I want to. I was going to say you could add some white around your flowers. I think I'm going to leave mine alone. But I hope that that was super, super fun. And if you want to do this template, it's on the website. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, friends.